Welcome to another show of Celebrate Life. My name is Gary D. Carolis, and I'm your host. The aim of this program is to introduce you to the wonderful lives that people live, knowing quite well that everyone has a story to tell, and every story is worth celebrating. I'm thrilled to have as my guest today, Megan Humphrey. Hi, Megan.
Hi.
Good to have you here.
Nice to see you.
Let's celebrate your life.
Okay, great.
Where would you like to begin?
I don't know. I mean, shall I start with childhood?
Childhood, that's a great place.
Okay. I grew up in New England, lived in Connecticut, and then Massachusetts, and then New Hampshire, and then Vermont. So kept moving north.
You weren't kidding when you said New England.
Right. And I think this is as far north as I'm going. Although with the political climate these days.
You might go to our neighbor
Canadian,
to the north.
Yeah, the Canadian border looks good. So I went to, started on a farm in Connecticut. We owned the farmhouse and the land, but there was a separate barn that was a dairy barn.
Okay.
But we lived on that kind of landscape, and it was really fun.
Wow.
I have 3 siblings, and we all just hammered around and played outside all the time. We were outside constantly, all the seasons, no matter what the weather was. So it was very fun. And then I eventually went to school for 2 years in Keene, at Keene State.
Wait, you went from a little girl to Keene State. What happened in between there?
I don't know. I
So
went to school.
What did your
in
mom
high
and
school.
dad do for work?
My mom was an English teacher, and my dad was a fiberglass technologist. And they met at Corning. They both were working at Corning.
Oh, that makes sense.
Corning Glassworks, and my mother was gorgeous. She was a model, and they put her at the info booth at the center when people walked in. And my father met her, and they fell in love, and they had a great relationship. I was really lucky.
Wow,
I mean, we're born into the families we're born into, and
that's right.
You know, some of us are very blessed.
Yeah.
So that was.
Did you have any special people in your life early on that helped shape who you ended up being?
We were really involved with the Unitarian Church, and I think that was a big part of my life. And it was during the Vietnam War, so my family was very involved with protesting the Vietnam War. I'm sure that there were draft dodgers living in our church that we were certainly never told about as kids, but very socially and politically active family. And so I would say the church, and I was surrounded by many older people who were remarkable. And it wasn't necessarily my grandparents. Both my grandfathers had died, one before I was born and one when I was really young. And then one grandmother lived in California, and the other grandmother, when I was fairly young, had a stroke and passed away. But there were a lot of other older people.
Right.
And we summered in Maine every year, which was really nice.
Where?
North of Bar Harbor.
North of Bar Harbor.
Yes.
Wow.
There's nothing. Lobster boats and eagles.
Wow.
And my parents' honeymoon there in the 40s, and it was called, at that point, it was called a resort. And it was a farmhouse where you ate your meals, and these little cabins out in a field with like a bed, a table, and a wood stove or something. And somehow my dad talked my mom into going to this very remote place. But they fell in love with it, and we
Was it
rented
near the
different.
ocean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. On a peninsula out into the ocean. So it's just beautiful. And since then, we bought property up there in the 70s. And took down a couple of those cabins and rebuilt them on our property.
Oh my goodness.
So we have those, and we go up there and sleep in a tent and wake up at 4:30 for the lobster boats to go out of our front yard.
Yep. And sunrises
Beautiful.
over there
We get the sunsets, which is my favorite anyways.
Okay.
That's my favorite,
Yeah.
right over the water.
Yeah.
Any sunset over the water, that's.
Then you must love going.
I love it. I love it. Anytime I can see that.
What a nice childhood.
Yes, I was, very, very lucky.
That's great.
Yep.
All right, so now moving on. Where?
Okay, so I went to school in Keene for a couple of years. My mom died the year after high school for me, and she died suddenly. She had cancer. She was 49. And that is certainly the most profound event in my life.
Absolutely.
That really affected everything. I feel people are so lucky to have parents who have lived,
Yeah.
and they get to know parents in a different way
Yeah.
than as a child.
Yeah.
I think it's a really different relationship.
Yeah.
And it would have been, I wish I had had that time for all of us. And she was just a remarkable person that the world would have benefited from. So I was fortunately, I had taken a year off of high school, and she died in that year, so I'm glad I was home.
Oh, well, that's
Because
great.
certainly no one would have looked ahead.
Yep. Where did you fall with your other siblings, oldest and youngest?
2 older brothers and a younger sister.
Okay.
So I always say I was raised by wolves. 2 older brothers that just, I can handle anything because I was raised by them. And we're a very good sense of humor, very, very sarcastic family, which goes into my relationships as well, and friends
That's
and everything,
great.
but a good sense of humor. My parents also wanted us home every night for dinner. And they could care less who else was there. But because my mom left in the morning before we got up, she was gone to go teach, they just wanted us, that was the one time we were all together. And I think
That's
that really
nice.
helped also.
Yeah.
To sit down to dinner together. And,
Yep.
certainly now it would be no phones and no computers and just sit and talk to each other, catch
Right.
up about your day.
Right. Oh, that's a nice
Yeah.
ritual.
Yes.
Yep.
Definitely. Yep.
And your dad, he was still around when your mom died.
Yes.
So he's okay.
Yep. And he died in 2001.
Okay.
Yep, and he was just remarkable also. He was funny and curious and an engineer kind of mind, but also just clever. And even apartments I would rent up here, he would come up and fix stuff, and I'd say, Dad, it's a rental. And I know, but the stairs were falling apart. I just thought I would fix them. And it was
Saying, I
kind of
love
fun.
you.
Yes, absolutely, definitely. And he lived long enough, so after I bought the house here in the Old North End, he lived long enough to come and do some electrical wiring and put in a pantry, things like that. It was
Nice.
fun.
Nice.
Yep.
So after Mom passed away, you were at Keene? Is
In
that-
Keene.
Keene, yep.
Yep, for a couple of years.
What did you major in?
Psychology, and I'm glad I went to a really small school, but I wanted something that was bigger, and the psychology program there was very sort of the scientific side as opposed to the social work side, which is what
Right.
I wanted.
Right.
So my boyfriend at that point was up here at UVM, and I came up and kept visiting here, and there was a good social work program here. So I moved up here to live with him and go to finish up college here, and that was great. I've never left.
Never left.
And I still have a huge crush on Burlington. I love being here. I know we have our problems and issues, but I think it's a beautiful place. The community, you and I were talking about this
Yeah.
earlier. The community I can't imagine a better community
Yeah, yeah,
that really pulls together and helps each other out, and
yeah.
it's great.
Are there other parts of the city, when you think of Burlington, that had to do with you falling in love with it?
I would say it's equal, the people and the lake. And I want to be in or on the lake all the time in the summer. The summer started late, but we're going to pack it all
Make
in.
up.
Yes, yes. So lots of boating, kayaking, swimming, anything.
Have you gotten to know the lake, its history and all that?
A little bit, not enough. But I know before zebra mussels came along, I think it was like the best preserved shipwrecks everywhere because it was so cold and
That's
so
right.
deep.
Yeah.
So I've learned some history
Yeah.
of the lake, and the Maritime Museum's great about
Absolutely.
that, certainly. And yeah, that's
Oh, that's good.
I think it's very, very interesting what's happened here and things like that. They added 60 acres to the waterfront, You know, when it was a lumber port,
Right.
I guess they just dumped all the sawdust,
sawdust
there or something
kept
there.
pushing it out,
60
yep.
acres between Perkins Pier and North Beach.
Yep.
It's not that far.
That's right.
So it must have just been the cliff at some point, like the
Right.
cliff by Battery
The
Park must have been it.
the
yeah.
natural ending of the.
Right.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, good.
So that's been kind of fun, and the change in Burlington. You know, there's the positive change of, you know, the oil tanks on the waterfront and just having that inaccessible, and that
Right.
could have all been hotels.
Yep.
And it's
Yep.
just so hugely used. It's a beautiful space. That's really nice, and the bike path and
Right.
things like that that have been taken care of.
Yeah. And do you get to go out on the causeway up?
A little bit. I
bit?
haven't done it enough. Yeah, our boat. We have a little. We've moved from sailing to power boats, which
Oh, good.
a lot of people as they get older do that.
Right.
But we have a. It looks like a mini lobster boat, so it's down in Charlotte. So that's the part of the lake that I actually know
okay.
the best, and
Yeah.
it's really interesting. All the islands, and it's more narrow.
Yep. Yep.
New York's right there,
Yep.
so that's a. I
beautiful.
really love that part of the lake. It's beautiful.
So you got your degree in social work.
I
What
did.
did you what did you do with that?
I got it in gerontology, so study of aging. The first volunteer thing I ever did, I was 12 and I volunteered at a nursing home. I just thought that would be really fun. I had a great time doing that. One of the first jobs here was when Cathedral Square opened, and I was the social worker there, the only social worker at
Really?
20-something. They had just
Wow.
opened 100 apartments.
The high rise?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Wow.
And so I worked there. I worked at Champlain Senior Center, a number of
Oh, okay.
nonprofits, and United Way. I also worked in some for-profits, but eventually started Hands.
Talk about that.
Yeah, so that was, it's no longer running, but it was a nonprofit for about 25 years. And the mission was to get food to older adults who were food insecure. And so we had some really fun programs. I just wanted to fill gaps. I didn't ever want to
This was
duplicate.
your idea. This
Yes.
is Helping Hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it started with a holiday dinner because one of the seniors had come to me and said, I spent Christmas alone and I never want to do that again. That was really hard. So I said, next year we'll do something. And we had, I think, 20 people at the Champlain Senior Center and had music. And that ended up growing over the years to 1,200 meals and gift bags delivered all over the county.
Oh my God.
So it became a huge.
1,200
Yeah.
meals.
Yeah, and then we lost both sources of the meals. One was Penny Cluse, and one was Burlington School Food Project, and we lost both of those. One person retired, and then Penny Cluse, of course, closed. So then we changed that to grocery cards. So we got 1,700 grocery cards out the last
my
year that
God.
I was running it. And then we did programs all the rest of the year. We did gardening programs at places like senior housing and nursing homes. And we did, veterans are a huge part of my compassion. And we did some great programs with veterans and college students and got them together and did gardening. A nutrition education program. And then we did diverse pantries. So we were purchasing vegetables from African farmers and getting them to African refugees who didn't want to eat the pizza that their grandchildren were eating. They missed the African eggplant or some of those veggies or halal meat or something like that. So we did that for a while. And some of those programs have spun off, which is good.
Oh, good.
Once we closed, they,
Oh, good.
Feeding Champlain Valley has one of them now. The Diverse Pantry program is there. And we got some grocery cards to food shelves around here. So
Was a lot of the people that, when you first started that program, were they like seniors who were shut-ins in the wintertime type situation, or what?
it really varied. A lot of it was at senior housing, but you can be equally isolated
Yes, you
there, which I learned having worked at that at Cathedral Square. there's a great way to be more connected in places like that, but it depends on so much. If you're really ill and you can't get out, if you can't hear, if you can, there are many things. If you don't have transportation, so even within those housings, it can be lonely for people. So to gather, and it also helps to have a program there to gather people, and then they meet each other, and then they become friendly there.
Exactly.
That's very helpful too.
Now, I know Cathedral Square has social workers today.
Yep.
Do they ever ask you to come and talk to them, given your experience?
No, that's fine. There are all the people I know who work. There's the SASH program, and that's support services to keep people at home.
That's right.
And all of the people I know that I worked with through SASH, because we certainly partnered with them through HANDS. They would have older adults that they knew of that needed some services that we could help with. So we all, I don't think anything is successful without collaboration. And
Good point.
I loved just finding very strange partners, unusual, not strange, but unusual.
Like, give me an example.
Like the Veterans Program, to pull in a college, and it was the Canal Street Veterans Housing, and that was in Winooski, and those were folks coming from homelessness and just trying to get their feet back on the ground again. Veterans have very high rates of suicide, homelessness, addiction, PTSD, a lot of very difficult issues. And so I really wanted to include them. And because we were working with 50 years and over, that could potentially be 3 generations that we were working with of veterans. And then to have college students involved, and the food shelf, Feeding Champlain Valley was involved with the Good Food Truck, would drop meals off there for them. We did a gardening program with Charlie Nardozzi. He came and taught that.
Wow.
We did nutrition education there. So that was just some fun partnerships, and I would never have met some of these fabulous people working in the veterans community. So that was people who became friends that I would never have met otherwise. So
how did you,
really
you started this from nothing, and yet you wove a tapestry that was quite connected all over the place. How did, is that when one of Megan's features is just that you're a connector?
I like connecting. Yes, absolutely. I think that's essential for everything. Everything, for our emotional well-being, everything. It's the way to get things done. I think this is a remarkable community that really, really pulls together. I think we have the most nonprofits per capita in the country.
In the country,
yeah,
we do.
And I think that's compassion right there, and empathy. And people were really generous in terms of financially and giving time. And I would say, okay, now we have to gift wrap all these presents for the gift bags, and people would just come together. We'd meet at a local pub, and I'd just put cans of soup down the bar and say, here you go. These drunken guys, wrap this can of soup.
No kidding.
But I just think I think the community, nothing could have happened without that.
Yeah.
I felt like I was just herding cats. I don't feel like I was that big a deal in it at all. I think it was really, really the people who came together to help make things happen and would take my harebrained ideas and say, okay, I'll take a piece of this on.
Don't you think, Megan, that a lot of times the energy's there, but it takes someone to, like centrifugal force, to bring it together and make something magical happen?
Yep,
but without that person, you here, that another person, it never congeals. It never,
I think that's true. Yeah. And I think you and I both know, we know a lot of the same people. We've both been in Burlington for a long time, and we can name a lot of those people who have been the connectors and the people that bring people together and make them feel good about what they're doing. I also think it's really important to make all those things fun. Because there are certainly people who would say to me, how do you get volunteers? We're just scrambling to get volunteers. But I think if there's some aspect, whether it's making sure there are snacks or there's just some really fun aspect to it. I think our organization, it was also really easy to see the end result, and I think that made a difference. People were delivering to people's homes.
Yeah.
It was very tangible.
Yep. Yep.
I think that really helped. It wasn't a nebulous, this is a goal and it's an idea that we have that we're working toward.
Yeah,
I think that it's harder to explain, it's harder to fundraise for that, but this was very specific.
Where did you get that sense, that community heart that you have? Where did you?
Probably my family, my parents, I would say that.
Yeah.
They were definitely community-oriented people. Yep. I would say that's.
What did your brothers and sister end up doing with their lives? Did they follow like you? Did they community?
Not really in the same way. Although outside of their jobs, they've always been like that. But my oldest brother worked for he did all kinds of things, as all of them did, and as all of us have done in our lives.
Yeah.
But the last job for my oldest brother was working at Quabbin Reservoir in Massachusetts, which I think that's what is water for Boston, I believe. So he worked there and loved it. He was outside all the time. The next younger brother was an engineer, surveyor.
Like your dad.
Like my dad, exactly. And his two kids ended up being engineers as well. And my sister right now works at Trader Joe's.
Oh, great.
In Massachusetts,
Wow.
and she loves that. It's another way that she has community, and it's food.
Right.
And Gail and my sister and I are both really big on food, kind of food obsessed.
That's great. Well,
So, yeah.
we all got to have it.
Yes, yep,
And many don't have.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
That's true.
well, that's great.
Yep.
So 25 years of your life you committed to Helping Hands.
Yes.
And then, okay, and then now it's kind of, it's gone, but a
Right.
lot of ancillary services have picked up where you left.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that was, I think that also helped some of the organizations that we worked with also. They got to know each other better. And I think that's helpful too in our community, because the needs are just getting bigger, which is just, it's so disheartening. And I was always feeling like we were missing people, that person alone in a home by themselves.
Right.
I would always think about a woman who I was friends with who lived in our neighborhood, and she lived alone. She had a TV and a landline. So she wasn't,
A TV and a landline.
you know, she wasn't able to access a lot of other information. And we learned that during COVID with older adults. They didn't necessarily have computers or computer skills.
Yeah.
So when COVID hit, we switched gears and tried to get help with that communication so they didn't feel so isolated, and get food delivered to them. And when everyone was freaking out, all of us,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they were especially concerned, being older.
Yeah.
So we did that.
So there's another part of you that we haven't talked about yet, and that's the artist, Megan the artist.
I was wondering what you were going to pull up from my past. Yes. So the sort of creative side of me, I always need that kind of outlet. So I started probably 45 years ago hand making Valentines, because that's my favorite holiday. And I would do them based on the old vintage Valentines, all the layers of lace and vintage postcards and everything. So I did those by hand for quite a while, and put vintage buttons on them and everything, and sold them around. But the post office stopped hand canceling, and so things would get damaged, and also I couldn't produce enough to really make a living at it that way. So I started taking photographs of the collage photos, or the collage cards I was doing. And so now I sell those around, Sweet Basil Cards.
That's
been really fun.
That's your business.
Yes,
Sweet Basil
that's my
Cards.
business.
Yes.
Yep. And so I also do calendars and other paper arts, little garlands, and I'm obsessed with anything paper. I just love, I have too much paper and fancy paper and what's around.
And
It's
where,
really fun.
if someone wanted to buy a Sweet Basil?
I'm on Etsy and also Mighty, which, do you know about Mighty?
Yeah, I do. MYTI?
MYTI, yes. And they're a great local company that's trying to have people purchase, instead of through Amazon, purchase
Right,
locally. So they have a
right.
big network of businesses and organizations and artists and everything.
Any retail outlets?
Yes, a number of them.
Downtown and,
Downtown, right here at Jake's Market, Barrio Bakery,
oh, nice, okay.
Frog Hollow. So a number of different places.
That's
yep.
wonderful.
And then I have an Etsy shop.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, so, and that's
Okay.
really, that's a fun thing. And then I've I also have been trying to clear out my studio, so I've been selling craft bags, just little fun craft bags for kids. And then I thought it would be nice to have some of them at places where kids are that might be having a tough time right now, like homeless shelters or food shelves or local organizations that have kids that are just really struggling. It might be kids who've just moved here, or they're migrant justice is an example of a place we've gotten some bags, kids that are afraid right now, and so we're trying to get those out. And I've got a great team of volunteers helping with that too.
That's
and
wonderful.
I'll get home and there'll be another bag of tchotchkes left, Mardi Gras beads or paper or colored pencils or something like that dropped off.
So
it's been really
how
fun.
does that work? Does Migrant Justice call you and say, we would like, a bunch of these for?
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Okay.
Sometimes people call me. Sometimes I've thought of an organization, or one organization will say, here's another one that could use some. So that varies a little bit. And we get them delivered, and
That's wonderful,
yeah,
man.
and that's been really fun.
Jeez.
Really fun. So, and that's the little kid side of me that, what would a 4-year-old think was fun? Here, we'll put a glue stick in and some kid scissors and just something. I mean, their family's living in tents right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Awful. So if there's something that would be nice, and then we also do bags for teenagers and adults as well. So it just depends.
Wow. And are you connected to the schools at all?
A little bit. I'm trying to find somebody to take this program over. I love to do I love to gather supplies and figure them out, but the management part of it, I just can't do that anymore. So it's been a lot.
Is there anything in your life you haven't done that you want to do?
Boy, that's a really good question. I need to clean out my house,
Okay.
which has much too much stuff in it. I collect everything. I might need it, coming from Depression-era parents.
Sure.
And New Englanders, this little tiny piece of string, I might need it for something. You never know. And then the day you give it away, you need it for something. So that's, I don't know. That's such a good question. I think just be healthy and happy.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And I'm lucky that I'm that way now. I'm married to a great guy. After 30 years, we decided to get married.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
30 years.
30 years, and we did it for health care.
Okay.
Of course, health insurance, welcome to America. But I'm very lucky. I love the house I live in. I love being in the Old North End and living in Vermont. And yeah, I'm the most blessed person you'll ever meet.
Okay.
I truly am.
All right. I'll take
Yeah.
your word for that.
It's true.
How about travel? Yeah, any
And
interest?
travel, yeah, that would be fun. I would love to do some. I've been watching the David Attenborough series, which has been so interesting about all of his discoveries. And here's this significantly older man who's just still cooking along and so interested. I think of that line all the time, especially with my dad, the stay curious. And that's what I want to stay curious. There's so much to learn.
Yep.
And I love learning about our local history, and I want to keep digging into that.
That's great.
I love research and writing and all of that. So it's not really any big goals, but
You're enjoying life.
I'm lucky, yes. I'm lucky, very satisfied.
Is there, now be curious is certainly something you would want to tell the audience to do in their lives, right? Is there other pieces of wisdom or quotes that you might have that you'd like to share? There's
one at the bottom of my signature on my emails, and and I can't remember who said it, which is kind of embarrassing, but
okay.
it's something like, there are 3 things in life that are important: be kind, be kind, be kind. That's a really, that's
you.
the biggest.
Yes.
That is really, to me, that's the biggest. And I'm not perfect at it. We all have skeletons and mistakes we've made and all of that, for sure. It's you can be 100 and still there's so much to learn.
Yes.
About relationships and
Yes.
how we go through life gracefully and everything. It's a lot. We're very unfinished in our lives, but
we do the best we can.
we do,
right?
absolutely. Yeah. And that's a really good thing, because I think that all the time. We're all doing the best we can.
Right.
We have to cut each other a little slack
That's
too.
right. Exactly.
And I want to thank you, because you've done so much over many years in Burlington.
Yeah.
Really,
Well, thanks.
thank you for, you've taken care of a lot of people
Thank you.
over the years. So,
Well, much appreciated.
yes, it's true.
Is there anything we haven't covered that you'd like to talk about your life? When you think of celebrating your life?
I don't know. One thing I was thinking, what else I would like to do, I love abandoned buildings. And I have this fascination with them.
There's one on Pearl Street you can, the Bove
Yes,
restaurant.
yes, yeah. I was in that before it was
Yeah.
damaged, but, and that's another thing. I would love to go find some more abandoned buildings. I always want to go look in the windows and just see. I mean, somebody had a life there and then they left it.
Yeah.
And for many reasons, somebody passed away and there was no family, or
Right.
I mean, there's just a million reasons. And especially up near our camp in Maine, there are lots of, I'm just fascinated
Stories
with what
behind
the
those
stories.
buildings, yeah.
I think that's a big part of staying curious for me. Is I love hearing people's stories. Everybody is so interesting.
Yeah.
Everybody is, and each of us doesn't think we are.
Yeah. Exactly.
I look at my life, it's like, it's not.
I know.
I'm lucky, but it's not that interesting. But
As I say, everyone has a story to tell.
yes, yeah,
Yeah. And it's true.
very much so.
Yeah. So have we completed this wonderful life of yours?
I think so. I can't think of anything else.
All right. Well, thanks again for
Thank
being
you.
on the show.
Thank you so much. I
You're welcome,
appreciate it.
Megan. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.